Hello, welcome back. I'm Statman Dave, and today we're going to take a look at 5 players Manchester United should sign in the summer. Remember to subscribe if you're new, smash that like button, but anyway, let's get this party started. In the 23-24 season, expect Erik Ten Hag to continue with the same 4-2-3-1 that brought Champions League football back to Old Trafford. Within this structure, Manchester United have several key positions that need strengthening, and overall squad depth in most positions would be a benefit. First up, a new right-sided defender would add this much-needed depth to the backline. Xeno De Bast is the player who should be signed. The 19-year-old has mainly played as a centre-back for Anderlecht, where his ball ability has shone. De Bast is extremely press-resistant, thanks to his immense composure, technical skills and overall awareness. Often, De Bast will actively stop the ball to invite pressure from an opponent. Then, as they step out of shape, De Bast will quickly react, either shifting and finding a teammate that's now free, or quickly changing direction and carrying out a danger. Regardless, this allows De Bast to take a player out of the game, advancing the play for his team. Meanwhile, when De Bast is given time and space, he can make use of his fantastic passing range, able to play all kinds of accurate passes off both feet. De Bast's fizzed line breakers stand out, as he's often able to squeeze a pass through tight spaces to find teammates in between the lines. Last season, De Bast averaged 4.78 progressive passes and 4.98 passes into the final third per 90, which would rank him first amongst Manchester United centre-backs. Granted, the Belgium League is a weaker competition, but De Bast is just 19, which shows the outrageous potential he has. Defensively, De Bast is just as impressive. With great mental skills like awareness, positioning and composure, De Bast often makes very good decisions when defending. He does struggle with aerial duels, often mistiming his jump and losing the initial duel, but De Bast excels when the ball is on the floor. In particular, De Bast is very comfortable at defending the very wide areas. He combines great mental attributes with his ability to win the ball back in these situations. The 19-year-old has won the ball through tackles, interceptions more time than any other defender in the Anderlecht squad this season. For Manchester United, Xeno De Bast would be signed as a long-term prospect at centre-back. His ability on the ball and skill when defending the wide areas make him well suited for a possession-based team. Meanwhile, his aerial game can be improved with coaching, with time on the training ground and more experience. However, in the meantime, or if this problem never is resolved, De Bast could deputise at right-back. From here, his exceptional passing range and ball carrying would allow him to shine. De Bast could allow a tactical tweak, tucking in to a back three, allowing the left back to push on. Alternatively, De Bast's technical skills and composure suggest he could be effective in the final third, so his introduction could give Ten Hag more tactical freedom. At 19 years old, De Bast would be an affordable star for the future, who could provide a much needed depth and sharpness to Manchester United's backline. Moving forward in the squad, the next area that requires depth is defensive midfield. Casemiro is literally the only player in the squad capable of playing this role, and his absence see the quality of Manchester United plummet. Obviously, his individual quality and experience has a lot to do with this, but simply having a player who can effectively anchor the midfield would go in a long way to mitigating Casemiro's unavailability, so signing a backup should be a fairly high priority on this list. If we are looking for a young, talented number 6 who not only has the potential to replace Casemiro, but the ability to fill in right now, Manchester United should look no further than Fluminese's Andre, a player we've already covered on this channel before. Andre is one of the biggest midfield talents in the world. For Fluminese, he starts in a double pivot of a 4-2-3-1, but in possession he operates as a single pivot in Fernando Diniz's relational style of play. If you're interested in what the difference is between positional and relational, or you just want to find out a little bit more about Fluminese's tactics, let me know in the comments below and we'll fire up a little video. But in terms of Andre, the 21-year-old controls the tempo. Very much a deep-lying playmaker, Andre is a fantastic passer, and his short passing in particular is often on show when setting up Fluminese's tempo. Able to play off both feet, Andre possesses great close control, which makes him a great dribbler too. Like De Bast, often Andre completely stops on the ball to invite pressure before his low centre of gravity and technical skills allow him to wiggle free. But Andre won't stop there. If he can generate momentum, he'll carry towards the goal, which can flip the tempo of an attack. In fact, last season, Andre completed more dribbles than any other midfielder in the Brazilian Serie A, with a success rate at a whopping 71.6%. But Andre isn't just about simple passes and ball carrying. The 21-year-old can also break lines with progressive passes, notably on the diagonal. He does this so frequently because Fluminense create a lot of diamonds in possession, which creates diagonal passing lanes for their players. This philosophy is similar to Erik Ten Hag's, who likes to create similar diamonds to help ball progression. What this means for Andre is that he should have no problem adapting to the Dutchman's style of play. And just because Andre is so good in possession, that doesn't mean he's a liability without the ball. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Often found defending in a 4-4-2, Andre has a lot of ground to cover, but he does it effectively. Highly mobile and agile with a good sense of danger, Andre would often jump out of position to press the ball, usually coming away with it. He's more of an aggressive volume challenger like an N'Golo Kante, but surprisingly for this kind of player, Andre wins a big share of his challenges. In fact, since the start of last season, the Brazilian has won 62% of his total challenges, a win rate that's better than Kante's personal best in the 2017-18 season. But Andre would also drop off and cover the space in behind. His positioning is good and he often screens the back line, but if he's needed, Andre is comfortable at dropping into centre-back. In fact, in Fluminense's 2-1 win over Flamengo in this season's Brazilian Cup, Andre spent the second half at centre-back and thrived, completing more passes than anyone else on the pitch, recording the second highest total of expected assists, completing 3 out of his 3 dribbles and winning 73% of his 11 challenges. For Manchester United, he wouldn't just provide a backup to Casemiro, but could be played alongside the Brazilian. Again, this would give Ten Hag tactical fluidity. He could use the double pivot as a duo in the build-up, allowing the fullbacks to get into more advanced areas, or he could use Casemiro in a more of a box-to-box role, whilst Andre controls the tempo at the base. This could further improve Casemiro's attacking output, given the former Real Madrid man finished last season with the 3rd most goal involvements in the Manchester United squad from a defensive midfield role. Whilst it might take time for Andre to adapt to European football and the Premier League, his high technical skill, composure and overall aggressiveness in his game means he could adapt fairly quickly. We've seen similar controlling midfielders move to Europe from South America and dominate, with Alexis McAllister, Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez all taking less than 12 months to establish themselves as some of the very best midfielders in the league. Reportedly available for £20 million, Andre seems like a risk well worth taking. The 3rd player Manchester United should sign this summer is Arda Turan. The 18-year-old has the potential to be the best player in the world. Already a complete playmaker, Turan has largely operated on the right of a flat 4-man midfield, or in a midfield 3 with a back 3 behind him. Extremely composed in all aspects of play, technically superb, and a small but extremely agile and mobile player, Turan has exceptional mental speed. What I mean about this is that Turan reads the game superbly well, often thinking at a higher level than any other player on the pitch, so he's often the first on loose balls or spotting the space on the pitch. His ability on the ball is unbelievable. Despite being in his first professional season, Turan instructs and orchestrates his Fenerbahce teammates, demanding the ball of them and generally just adding a smooth rhythm to their play. When in space, Turan constantly checks his shoulders for markers and to get an idea of where his teammates are on the pitch, creating a mental picture of his surroundings. This allows him to act quickly when he does receive the ball, which allows him to make use of the most of his creativity. His assist against Antalyaspor is a great example of his mental speed. The play starts with a throw-in for the opposition. Immediately, Turan intercepts a loose pass and takes control with one touch. He then bypasses 2 players with feints and sets himself and plays Enner Valencia in behind the defence with an outside of the boot pass, allowing the Ecuadorian to score after just 109 seconds of play. In this move, Turan makes everything look effortless, and in the game he should have had at least 3 assists. In fact, Turan actually finished the match having created 7 chances, 3 big chances, and winning 3 out of his 3 tackles. It was also the 3rd match of the season where he has an XA greater than 1. Turan has a great range of passing, uses space well, and just as we highlighted, the 18-year-old can dance past players with agility, balance and feints. Great use of space is often a sign of a very intelligent player. Regardless of his starting position, Güler will drift and exploit the space on the pitch. Sometimes he'll even drop into fullback positions, but he can still influence the game from here with line-breaking passes or quick switches of play. But where he's most effective is in the final third, where he can combine all of his attributes, and you've got a player that is quick thinking, technically superb, excellent in tight spaces, and very, very creative. The results are often disastrous for the opposition as he dances through challenges to play defence-splitting passes or simply getting his head up and whipping shots towards goal. What's more is Güler is also very dangerous from set pieces and sends in deliveries with real whip and accuracy. In fact, despite playing less than 1,000 minutes in the Turkish Super League last season, Güler created the 4th most chances from corners, and overall he's created 4 chances per 90, the most in the competition. For United, Güler would join as a backup number 10 or a backup right winger, but honestly he could do the job now. Players like Jude Bellingham, Gavi and Pedri are playing at such a high level because they were given the opportunity to play for a top team as a teenager. Arda Güler genuinely has that level of talent. Long term, Güler is probably best suited to the 3-8 role, where he has the freedom to roam all over the pitch to dictate the play and become a Bernardo Silva or Luka Modric style midfielder. To go with this world-class potential already, Güler has a £17 million release clause. Like with Andre, Manchester United should just get this deal done. And finally, the last 2 players on this list, of course, are strikers. Rasmus Haaland should be a tap-in. Atalanta want to do business. And according to reports, Haaland himself is a Manchester United fan, and Erik Ten Hag needs a striker. Recently we did a video that overviewed his playing style, so make sure you go and check that out for some more in-depth analysis. But in short, Haaland is a new breed of centre forward, extremely quick but tall, strong and powerful. He's also technically very strong and possesses a great natural flair and creativity. His technical dribbling combined with his speed makes him extremely dangerous when he's got space to run into or if he's got the ball in the wide areas. From the flanks he operates more like a winger. Very tricky, Haaland often starts by going on the outside before chopping back inside to create shooting opportunities. However, he will also just burst to the byline and cut the ball back for his teammate. Meanwhile, in central goal-scoring positions he's very good, fairly two-footed. Haaland prefers his stronger left foot, but he can generate immense power and decent accuracy off his weaker right too. Combining his shooting and his speed with dribbling, Haaland is a terrifying player to face on the counter-attack, as RB Salzburg found out at the start of the season, where Haaland simply burst past the last defender, ran 40 yards and picked out the top corner. Something we didn't cover in the recent video on Haaland is hold-up play. Very creative, Haaland provides a good option to play passes into, where he can use his physicality and technical ability and allow him to hold off defenders whilst controlling the ball before bringing teammates into play. In particular, Haaland combines with flicks and tricks like heel chops and back heels, which really showcases his confidence and his overall talent. But his goal against Spezia really sums up where he's at. First moving into the channel to receive, then holding off the defender, receiving defeat before using his natural flair to stop the defender, then bursting past him and finishing across the goalkeeper. Under Erik Ten Hag, his hold-up play and link play would knit the forward line together, and his natural creativity should suit the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho. Meanwhile, his speed would allow him to start attacks as a progressive option before getting into the box to finish off the move. Averaging a goal every 130 minutes across all competitions this season, Rasmus Haaland is not the finished article, but he's made a good start to life in Europe's top 5 leagues. Still only 20 years old and reportedly available for €60 million, the Danish international would represent great value for the long run for Manchester United. And finally, United should add another young forward to their ranks this summer and sign Gift Orban from Ghent. By far the most raw player on this list, Orban has big potential. He's largely played in a front two this season, and whilst his extreme pace would suggest he's only ever runs the channels, he's also an intelligent player and sharp when he drops off the line to receive too. In these situations, he's quite simple, often moving the ball on with 1 or 2 touches, but he provides an option to relieve pressure for his deepest teammates. Then he follows up by attacking the last line and running the channels, which puts himself into good goal-scoring positions, and given that he scored 39 goals in 45 appearances, Gift Orban usually takes these chances. He's also dangerous in shooting positions because he generates incredible power from very little effort, which resulted in the 20-year-old scoring a number of rockets this season. In fact, for Ghent, Orban scored 15 goals from just 59 shots, an impressive conversion rate of 25.4%. With a reported 17 million euros release clause in his contract, Orban is definitely one for the future. In an ideal world, Manchester United would buy him now and then loan him back to Ghent until at least January to assess his development. From there, a step up and another loan move, maybe to the Bundesliga, would allow Orban to keep his incredible momentum whilst pushing his development. If done correctly, Orban could continue this development and United could have a top-tier striker by 2025 who's ready for the Premier League, and Gift Orban would just be 22. Realistically though, Manchester United would probably need Orban right now. For Ten Hag, the Nigerian would suit playing ahead of Bruno Fernandes, whose direct in-behind style of creativity would complement Orban's style. However, United could deploy him alongside either Haaland or Marcus Rashford, creating a strike pairing of two players who can both drop off the line to receive defeat and run in behind with incredible speed, while sharing the responsibility of leading the line. But anyway guys, what do you think? Who would you sign for Manchester United in the summer? I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel?